So you talk about how transformative the internet has been for you, right? And for all of us, I think we can all agree to that.
Yep,
But
agree.
let me
Yep.
paint you a world before the internet so that you can see where I'm coming from. I used to be in the telecom sector, so I know this. I'm qualified to speak about this. Yeah, the before the internet came along, the whole world was relying on telephone lines. This is why you have BT in the UK, and many countries have their national carriers. And the objective in life was to make sure that every household has a landline that enables them to have a phone. And that is because this is one of the United Nations human rights, the right to communicate. And this is why many governments take responsibilities to solve that problem. But when I got involved and I was working in the United Nations, I challenged them on the fact that that measure is not realistic, because that measure of having landlines to every household is called tele density, the number of landlines per household. And I said to them, that is not realistic, because if you look at Africa as a region, because of their terrain, it's impossible to run landlines to every household. So you have Africa as a region that was completely excluded because of this great idea to solve that problem. Then what happened was mobile technology came along, and guess which region was the first to adopt mobile technology at scale? The African region. And today, that problem that we used to have is no longer there. So you can see how technology, if we use it for the right purpose, if we solve it for the right, and for the right reasons, it is possible. I always believe that if we have a problem, and this is a human condition, we are clever enough to always find ways to solve problems. So, such as things like going to the moon. You would think that it's hard to imagine, but that has happened. And today, I can imagine there's a lot more things that we cannot imagine today, but it'll happen tomorrow.
So what does it look like then? So I mean, the situation you just described about a very physical problem, phone lines being connected to very, very remote parts of the world, suddenly mobile technology comes on, just completely pushes aside the
Yeah.
physical constraints. What does it mean next then? How do we now solve what's remaining of digital exclusion? If it's not just give everybody a mobile because there's a mobile signal, what is it?
Yeah, I think because this is about technology, right? So I think if we believe that it is our duty as a civilization to really enable everybody to have the right to communicate, then having access to the means, to the tools of doing that is so important. We may be in the past writing letters. These days, we don't need to do that. Why? Because technology is enabling us to do it in a different way. So one of the things that we need to do is we got to think of every individual. Surely they need to have access, at least access, if not their own personal device that allows them to achieve that goal, or being able to use that as a communication tool to address their need to be able to communicate. However, you can see these days it's more than just communication. So if you can address that essential sort of feature, then guess what? It also enables you to do other stuff to give you a better quality of life if you can. For example, if people are saying to me, today you're digital excluded, so therefore don't care about you. But what if they are using it for learning? What if they're using that for entertainment? Are they being excluded from having the rights as any normal human being to be able to enjoy those benefits? Do you see what I mean? So it's now
Yeah.
a much bigger thing. So if we can think about it in a more holistic way, sure, make sure everybody has either access or have their own personal device that allows them to communicate. I want to be able to communicate with my children, with my friends, no matter how old I am, no matter where I am. I want to be able to do that. But consequently, if I'm able to use that for entertainment because I'm solving other social problems, I'm solving loneliness problem, I'm solving the issues of being able to help somebody who needs my help, then I think that's a worthwhile thing to make sure that we at least solve that essential problem of giving everybody access to some device.
Some years ago, I actually went to Africa because I built a mobile payments platform, and it wasn't for smartphones, which is super clever, but if you are 20 miles and it's a walk from the nearest bank, paying for things is really hard, especially if you want to buy things from overseas. So the app that I built in conjunction with a company I know there was that I could pay people via SMS and just send a message. And for me, that was another layer of digital inclusion. We take
right?
payments as, I mean, I don't carry cash anymore. When
Yeah,
my kid, I
same
went out
here.
on to a firework display on a Friday night with my son. He said, "Dad, can I have 10 quid to go?" And I said, "I haven't got 10 quid. Borrow my phone." I mean, we're just used to that now. But if you're in a place where that just does not exist, if you cannot pay, putting something in that person's hand where now they can pay for stuff is a massive inclusion factor.
Exactly. Exactly. So you can see that, there are so many possibilities and benefits of enabling everybody to have access to technologies that we all take for granted. But unfortunately, that is not the reality today, right? Still.
Yeah. So let's move on to how we can fix this.